The next speaker will be Prabhadika Ashisha Prana, and I request her to present her paper.
Respected Shamishis, eminent speakers and our august audience, at the very outset, I must confess that I am not an expert on this subject of art. I am simply carrying out orders as revered Amarprana Mataji is unable to attend today's national ceremony. I would like to mention the name of Stella Cumbries. I'd like to mention the name of Stella Cumbries, who had come from Vienna in 1924 in search of the soul of India and as appointed first professor of Indian art in Calcutta. She wrote many books on Indian art and was honored by the Padma Bhushan in 1982 by the Government of India and Deshikattam by Vishwabharat. Her student Binod Bihari Mukhopadhyay compared her to Havel. The principal of Calcutta School of Art wrote, "It may be said that whereas Havel drew our attention to the ideal of Indian ideas, it was Cambridge who opened a new vista from Indian artists by explaining them from the point of modernism, experiment in various media and Indian art." On reading this, I felt that there was a little of Nivedita's reflection in her. Havel was Nivedita's contemporary, whereas Stella had come from the next generation. Astoundingly, two foreign-born ladies had left their indelible stamp by their contribution in the field of Indian art. Both Havel and Stella Cumbries were artists, and their contribution to the Indian art is well known, admired, and acknowledged. Nandalam Basu's writing tells us that Havel was influenced by Nivedita. Quote, "I do not know whether Havel has mentioned the name of Sister Nivedita in his book, but she made him understand the viewpoints of Indian aesthetics and philosophy of art." Unquote. Stella too was well acquainted with India's thoughts and ideas about Indian art. Abanindranath Tagore established Bengal School of Art in 1907, but his inspiration came from Havel's Kumaraswamy and Nivedita. In recent time, there is a lot of research and interest in Bengal School of Art, but we find a very little mention of Nivedita. As she brilliantly followed this, her great contribution has been a quiet and silent one. In this world, they are a different class. I want to share a small story of Gautam Buddha's life. Buddha was returning to Kapilavastu first time after achieving Buddhatva. His father, Rajashuddhadan, was overjoyed and made all majestic arrangements for the return of his son to his kingdom. News of Buddha's arrival reached him. He came forward eagerly and found his son with a begging bowl in his hand. Shocked and dismayed, he said, "My son, this does not become of you. This is not your class. This is not what you should do." Buddha replied, "This is my class. This is what I should do, Father." This was Nivedita's life, one of renunciation and dedicated service. Margaret Elizabeth Noble, better known as Sister Nivedita of Ramakrishna Vivekananda, came to India for a completely different cause, adopted India as her own country, and dedicated her life to her beloved Bharatvarsha. Before coming to India, she established a school in London in 1892 and became famous in the intellectual circles of London. Among the teachers she appointed, there was Mr. Evinger Cook, a well-known painter who was her friend. With color and brush, she introduced children to painting. Margaret was very interested in his work, and it was from him that she learned to be an art critic. And so it is continued till 1895 when she met Swami Vivekananda in London. Within a few months, Margaret's life changed its course and purpose irrevocably. Sister Nivedita was a versatile genius and she devoted herself totally to the upliftment and progress of India in all fields. One of her greatest contributions is revival of Indian art. Nivedita's idea on Indian culture, art, tradition was shaped by Swami Vivekananda. She accompanied him on his tour of North India. She understood from her travels in North India the spiritual import of fine arts, not the spiritual import of Indian fine arts. She believed that the rebirth of art was essential to the remaking of the nation. Her appreciation of the ideals of Indian art and her passion for revival were derived from Swami Vivekananda, and what she learned from him has been summarized as follows. First, expression of inner ideals that transcended transcended form and their symbolic interpretation in state of lifelike devotion of our appearance is what characterized Indian art. Second, art in India, ancient and medieval, always centered on our religion. Art in India grew in its own soil. Swamiji rejected all prevalent theories of our art, growing under the influence of Greek and other sources. Art in India being intricately linked with rituals, permeated into the life of common men and women through the ages and wasn't confined only to the elite group. Vava, that is ideal, is the most essential ingredient in Indian aesthetics. Success of any artwork can easily be judged by its ability to express idea through images. Academic art being popularized by Ravi Verma and his Western admirers was unsuccessful in these aspects. In Chicago, Swamiji helped her to prepare her lecture on Indian art and crafts. In the Paris Conference of 1900, Swami Vivekananda gave a brilliant exposition on Indian art, rejecting Hellenic influence on it. Nivedita became convinced of Swami Vivekananda's views and later she displayed it vividly. In the history of Indian art, her contribution was enormous, especially in the revival of ancient Indian art. She was not an artist but a connoisseur of art, and her inspiration, encouragement and guidance helped many young artists to turn their eyes to the forgotten, neglected forms of Indian art and gave birth to a new movement of Indian art. Nivedita's contribution to Bengal School of Art are in many ways such as influenced Hebbel and Kumaraswamy, inspired Abanindranath deeply, link between Japanese art masters and Tagore brothers, guiding angels of Nandalal Bose, Ashit Haldar and many more. Powerful writer and critic who could penetrate into the heart of art. As a connoisseur of art, she taught in Western art, but is based in that. Reversed idea of Aurobindo Ramananda Chattopadhyay completely became the famed philosopher and guide of Indian art. Nivedita's influence. In Nivedita first met Mr. Hebbel in 1902, and during their discussion was happy to know that his ideas on Indian art conform her. His artistic understanding of Indian art through Indian ideals, she believed had set the framework for rebuilding the great art in India, where India's past, present, and future stood as one. He was eager to understand the mystery, esoteric meaning of Indian art, and Nivedita helped him as best as she could. He was the first foreigner to point out that Indian art was original and not derived from Greece, and he declared this openly in his book, Indian Sculpture and Painting. Mr. Ananda Kumarasamy expressed the same views. Nivedita reviewed their books in the Modern Review. In her own writing, she expressed this too. The three tried to dispel the misapprehension of the Western ideas. Okakura, the internationally famous Japanese artist, supported the views. The writing of these people drew the attention of Western art connoisseurs like Sir John Woodroffe, Lord Kishenot, etc. Hamill, Nivedita, and Kumarasamy in print constantly attacked the views that Indian art was derivative, having its root in Greek art, and all three was defined the function of art school in India, and objected to the employment of foreign teachers using foreign methods. Due to the influence of Sister Nivedita and her efforts, gradually the art school began to change their methods and try to revive and revitalize the tradition of Indian art, which were about to disappear. As she came to India to quench her thirst for spirituality through the dedication of her life to India, she strongly believed that genuine love for the nation creates genuine genius in all phases of life, and incidents of her life reveal it. In a letter to Miss MacLeod in February 1911, she wrote about her first meeting with Hamill, where Mr. Hamill had said, "I can teach a man to draw and paint, but I cannot make him an artist or genius." Hearing this, she laughed and thought, "But I can." How is that? They do not say love of country, love of fellows, pride of birth, hope for the future, a dauntless passion for India, and there will be such tide of arts, of science, of religion, of energy, as no one can keep back. Instead of dolls, heroes. Instead of copies, original genius. All this could be created. All this must be created. The whole world can be laid under tribute, but only if this divine passion must exist. Unquote. She was this divine passion and inspiration personified. She could put down this divine passion to all. One of the greatest effects of his inspiration was the birth of Bengal School of Art. Nivedita came in contact with Avanindranath Tagore, who was the vice principal of the Calcutta Art School. Due to Nivedita's influence, he reverted to the Indian style, and he acknowledged that she opened the eyes of the Indians to the beautiful aspects of their own country, their own art, and their own institutions. When Avanindranath adopted the Indian style of art, Nivedita was full of praise for him. When his Bharat was painted, she was in ecstasy on seeing her dream come true, that nationality was at last expressed through a form, and wrote, "But how can a man be painter of nationality? Can an abstract idea be given from form and clothes which wish and painted? Undoubtedly it can. Indeed, if we had questioned this, Mr. Tagore's exquisite picture of Bharat Mata would have proved its possibility." In Indian art, if Indian art have been able to occupy today such an important place and command great respect in the world, it is entirely due to the efforts of the four Sister Nivedita, Hamill, and Kumarasamy, and Okakura. Among them, Sister Nivedita occupies a special place, as she alone knew the philosophical background of Indian art. The life force of Sister Nivedita, coupled with the genius of Abanindranath, opened for the genius of Abanindranath, opened for the first time a section of Indian art in Government School of Art in Calcutta. It was in those days when European paintings by Westerners, masters, and Ravi Verma's Europeanized paintings, which were very popular, decorated the world of the Indian elite. In fact, Nivedita brought about a rebirth of Indian art. Due to her effort, a movement of art began, and Indians began to realize the greatness of their own art and the need of its revival. Bhava became the central category for evaluating the pictorial image. Increasingly, a profusion and subtlety of feeling was marked out as the special feature of the paintings of Abanindranath Tagore and his group. This was highlighted in a contrast drawn between Ravi Verma's and Abanindranath's visualization of the same scene of Sita in captivity in Lanka, where Ravi Verma had placed Sita within a specific forest environment, while Abanindranath left a background ambiguous, with just a barred window looking on to the infinite ocean. Quote, "This visualizes her imprisonment and sadness as the garden of ashok trees could never have done. The Indian Madonna has found a form," unquote. Sister Nivedita remarked. To use Ruskin's analogy, a painting was synonymous with a poem more than telling a story. It had to capture a mood and emotion. Once, Sister wrote, Advaita can be expressed through art. She upheld the art as the most important vehicles of nationality and wrote in her essay, "The function of art in shaping nationality," that art offers us opportunity for a great common speech, and its rebirth is essential to the upbuilding of the motherland. The art movement of